Oh, so I don't know. Then we'll just feel like every time we'll just go for broke and we'll see what happens. Um, I'm not even set up yet, so welcome to the setup phase. It's interesting. I I gave sleep. I gave it a good college try. But here we are. Um, it's interesting. I'm developing a bit of a routine, even though I'm 3 episodes in on paper. I'm technically kind of 4 episodes in, maybe five, depending on how you want to count this. Um, and so, I like to have some stuff in frame. I think it looks nice just having a little something here. Um, it just looks nice. And maybe I'll cut this out. We'll see. We'll see what we end up doing. Uh, so like, I'm just winging it. I don't know how to set this stuff up. Like aesthetic thing, I guess. I don't know. Okay, that took a little bit while longer than I thought. So a lot of times, the actually my headphones are in here, kind of as a prop, but it's not really on purpose. It was because I was doing something where I needed them, and then I just set them down, and it kind of looked fine. In this case, they're going to play a crucial role in this episode. So that's why they're there. Um, oh yeah, I'll still talk about my setup a little bit before I kind of get into the main thing. Um, like it's neat. I have a little bit of a routine now. Just heads up. At some point, I might have to like get up and the heat's on today, um, tonight, this morning, technically, um, and so I had to wait for it to cycle at least a few times. I mean, I didn't have to. I could have just been cold down here. um, but when it kicks on, I'm going to either have to pause or go turn it down and figure something out because the main intake is right here. Like there's like this little pathway from like me, the amp that's behind me, this Marshall, and then there's a little gap here that goes like underneath this table where like this table isn't just for props. Like this is a useful table. I drag this all over the place and put my laptop on it. And then the big intake is right there. And I was recording something the other day. I was doing something, and for some reason, I was just like, oh, it won't matter. And like, it sounds like a jet engine in the microphone. So, and especially because like when I'm miking the amp, if you can see the little blue square right there, that's where I put the microphone, and then that's like the direct path where all of the air is flowing past me to get to the furnace. So this particular time, usually my laptop is kind of on all the time, and there's just many, 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 many windows and other such things that are open, and then it's, so like sometimes when you see me messing with stuff, like I'm sorting through all these windows, it's the too many tabs problem, basically. This time I rebooted, um, and I don't have any browsers open, I don't have anything open, nice and clean. And then, like mentioned in the episode I just recorded, but which won't be out for a little bit, um, I've discovered a couple things I like. I've got the main. It's funny actually. I'm actually using. I think it's just called the Gnome Camera app. So shout out to Gnome, I guess. Uh, it's just the camera app that like it just comes with. This is Mint. It's come on my phone in a few different iterations for sure. It's just the standard, like that's all it is. It's just the camera app, and then I have an old Pixel phone. Not that it's old. And they for all my complaints about that kind of tech. I mean, don't get me wrong. Like the tech in a vacuum is amazing. Like I just incredible to me that these things can even run at all. Like just legions and legions of engineers are required to get these things off the ground, and and make them happen in any meaningful way. And I'm just amazed that it even happens. It's truly something. I don't like the other stuff that happens, but the technology by itself is pretty cool. And I wish that all of those engineers could make all of that nice hardware and software for humans. I wish you could. But so I've got it plugged into an old Pixel, and one nice feature of those is that you can use it as a webcam. It has that feature. It's like it's in the debug option somewhere. You'll find it. Look it up. And then you plug it in by a cable to my laptop. So I still feel like I'm doing more things in Linux. I know that's not. But I feel also like it feels like the video is like sanitized in a way when it comes through the USB cable and comes into my laptop. I feel like it's cleaner. That's me. This phone takes like really nice videos by itself when you do it just from the phone, but I kind of like that. I didn't go into this in the physical media episode. It'll probably come up at some point, but just, I don't know. I'm not like a big fan of like super high def, like super 4K. It kind of takes me out of the cinematic experience. Like I understand that part of this might just be like bias and how I'm used to experiencing media. But I just like it. I mean, I feel like it's like real life. Like when I'm looking at something like a bit far away, like, it's not 100% clear, like, where one thing ends and the next thing begins. Like everything is not crystal clear. Part of that is probably that my vision's not the best, but I mean, it's just kind of how it is. I don't know. It's so weird to me, like seeing everything and just like seeing everybody's pores, on these things because, well, for me, I don't know. That's just not how it is in real life. Like when I'm talking to a person, I don't notice their pores. I just don't. It's not popping out as much. So like, but with high def, it does that. And I like high def, it's fine. Like 4K, it's just most of the time I don't care for that. It's just, I don't know. It just, to me, it just does not look like a movie. And well, so that's what we're doing here. It's like, all right, it's a little weird. The lighting's not, I know that I know how these other people are doing it. I know I need to get one of them like nice soft lights over here. So you get the nice lighting or get one of those ring lights or whatever. And, I'm a big lamp fan. I will actually have an entire episode about lamps. I really like lamps a lot. I think their lighting is nice, and I guess I feel like overhead lighting is meant for the sun. The sun does that. When I'm inside, I want my lighting at a lower level. Well, I mean, except when I'm cleaning. That's when it's nice to have those. So I'm glad that they're there. I was gonna say something else about the setup. There's something. Oh, it's charming. So again, like it just comes. This is just like the stock camera app. There's nothing fancy about it. You select like what your video input source you want to use, and then you click record, and that's it. And you make sure that you have video selected and not camera, because let me tell you, you can waste a lot of time talking about things and not capture it. But so the one charming thing is that it just does this every time I hook up the camera. I open the camera app. It opens. It's just black, and then it crashes, and then I open it the second time, and everything's fine. And that's the process. I don't know. Yeah. So, all right. There's the furnace, and I want to keep it going. So I'm gonna go shut this shit down. I'm gonna be right back. Let's get going then. So, all right. So things are in a weird state. I remember a good friend of mine saying to me once, "Do not lose track of state." So I'm kind of in the middle of making a video, which is a retrospective on a clip that's used in a different video that I haven't even really started filming yet. But in this retrospective, I included this Wes Montgomery album, like, as it's symbolic for the episode. It means something. And while I was doming it, one of the things I said was that Wes Montgomery plays like a river. I don't know where that came from. That's just what happened. That's one of the things of the show. This is one of the things. It's just kind of what happened, but it was how I felt in the moment. And so I went back. I was just trying to I was roughly editing down the footage because there was a lot of laughing happening in that one. So I had to edit down a lot. But so when I was listening back through it and I got to that part, I don't know, something just kind of hit me, just hearing me, looking down introspectively like this and saying, I think he plays like a river, or however it was I said it exactly, he plays like a river. It just hit me, and I was upstairs, so I shut my laptop, I left my phone there. I didn't want anything else down here, so I came down. I put a shirt over my head, which is a long story. It has practical reasons, but it's also kind of nice. Not over my head, but you just drape it over your head like it's a cloth, and then you put the headphones on. It's kind of nice. It gets a lot of stuff out of your peripheral vision, and you can really focus in on something if you want to, which is what I wanted to do. So I sat down right here on the other side of where the laptop usually sits. No clipping, please. And leaned against this little beanbag thing I have, beanbag stool. Plugged in the headphones and put it on. And so it's interesting. I had included it because I had been thinking about Wes Montgomery because I hadn't listened to the album in a long time. I had it dug out, and I kind of had it in. It's been in my rotation for a little bit, so it just kind of comes on occasionally, and it's nice. I like it. But when I sat down to listen to it, to really listen to it, I think because at the time, this is a long story. I don't know if I'll ever really get into it, but I'd been. Melissa knows. So I was going through it. And I came down, I sat down, I put the shirt over my head, I put these headphones on, which are very nice. Well, I know you can buy a lot nicer headphones than this. These are very nice Sennheisers. I really like them. I've had them for a long time. This part is deteriorating, and again, because it was just in storage for a long time, and I think what happens is the plastics outgas and they kind of eat each other or something like that. Luckily the earpieces are still good, so we're good there. And so that's the other. So having the shirt over my head keeps all the little plastic bits from getting into my hair, basically. But it's nice too. I found out I kind of like it, and I think I'm gonna kind of do that from now on when I'm editing or listening to music. It's very nice. You should try it. I'll include some footage. You'll see it. It's nice. It looks crazy though. While I was sitting there, I was reference back to the neighbors. If they look in the window, I don't know what they're going to think. Let them think whatever they want, but that would be funny. But so I'm sitting and, so I have a second album of his that I put here, so that I've got something as a prompt because I'm going to talk about the liner notes. This one, unfortunately, I don't have the CD. This is just a case. I'm not sure what happened. Most likely it's in another CD case. I feel I think I counted my CDs up roughly I did the kind of there's several rows, and I counted one of the rows and just assumed that all of them are probably that amount. And I think I came out with a number that was somewhere around 400 or 450. So I have that many CDs to go through. And I also, maybe even I'll get to it, I have a new CD case shelf that came in a week ago, but I've been so busy with this project I haven't set it up. So maybe that'll even be an episode. I'll kind of go through my CDs and maybe rap on them a little bit. CDs are they're kind of like my main thing. I mean, honestly, like I really like MP3s and FLAC and stuff now because of how convenient it is. I can easily walk around, and that's kind of my main music listening thing. Like I do like to just sit down here and listen to music, but like I think the majority of my music listening happens when I'm like out walking around listening to it on my phone or my MP3 player. But CDs, they kind of feel like my native format in a way. I mean, I started on tape cassettes because CDs were out when I started like kind of getting into music when I was like, I don't really remember, 12 or 13. I'll dive into I'll figure out the specifics at some point. I know it. Uh, I'll call mom. I'll figure it out. We'll figure this out. So CDs were out, but they were more expensive. So a lot of times, and I feel like I just always had very limited funds to work with, just, whatever my parents would give me, or I don't remember if there was chore money involved at some point. So it was usually a choice between, do I want one CD or do I want two tape cassettes? I want two tape cassettes because I want to listen to two albums instead of one if I can. So unfortunately, I don't have a lot of those those cassettes left. I thought I had a box. I thought I had two huge boxes of cassettes in my memory, and I cannot find them. I have asked around. Nobody really knows about it. I'm afraid I probably, during some move, like in all the hecticness, I was like, you know what, fuck it, I don't listen to tapes anymore, and I got rid of them. And that makes me sad, because there was some cool shit in there. Like, I had so much music. This is not how this episode was supposed to go. I had so much music that I recorded off the radio. Fun fact I don't know who this impacts anymore. I guess Gen Z, you guys probably didn't do this. It's like, that was fun. Like, that's kind of how you did it, is like you'd listen to the radio, and if there was like a specific song that you wanted to catch so that like you could hear it again sometime because you really liked it, you had to sit there, you sat there, you listened to the radio with a blank cassette in the deck, and you waited, because sometimes you knew, like they would say, they like, right, they're always trying to keep you on the edge of your seat, so you knew the song you wanted was coming up in the hour, and so like after the previous song was starting to end, you're getting ready. And I was really hoping to like transfer those to digital and like share them somehow with people, because it would be fun, because it was messy. Like there would be like the prior song, because of the DJ, would lead into the next song, or sometimes you get the DJ talking in there a little bit, or you'd get like a little bit of a weather report or a traffic report, or just like the bumpers for the stations is what I wanted to hear. Like there was definitely some of that in there. Like I thought I set you to not turn off. And that's what I was looking forward to. Like, so yeah, so shout out to the Nerve 95.1, 95.5. Rest in peace. Maybe sometime we'll do an episode about that. Like, it's crazy. Like, even back when I was young, like, the radio stations were shit, to be honest, in the 90s. They were shit. Like, most of them were just... It's like now. We had a lot of just bad pop music that got played, I guess, because somebody somewhere had money to throw at it, and that was how most of the radio was. It was just boring. A lot of classic rock. At the time, classic rock was strictly defined as, I believe, 70s and before. I know that's a little different now. And there was one radio station, really, where, like, I feel like, because, like, as I was starting to, like, find, like, oh, like, some of, like, the pop music that was on the radio that I did kind of dig, there was this whole other world, like, like, at the time, like, grunge was, like, not new. Like, I think it kind of had its moment, and it was, like, 94, 95, something like that, and, but I liked that music, and there's a lot of stuff that followed on from that was really cool, and I really liked, and the Nerve played that. Now, where I lived at the time, so it was in Rochester, New York, where I lived, well, I had to do like a lot of tinkering around to like just be able to just barely get it. It was one of those things where, like, I don't know, again, this is going to be a visceral memory for some people. For a lot of other people, it's not going to make any sense, but like you'd be like on the tuning knob, just very careful, and you'd get it just right, and then you'd take your hand away, and then some like static would come in, or the station would go away again, and like I think there was sometimes, like, especially if there was a song that I just like really wanted to hear, I would have to kind of keep my hand on the radio. I don't know much about, I'm not like an electronics engineer, But I think like you kind of extend this, you act as an antenna, like when you touch it a little bit. Um, yeah, so that was fun. And then and it was like, it was crazy. Like they played all of the music that all the other stations just kind of would not. Like they always had like Stone Temple Pilots and Soundgarden and lots more stuff besides that. I'm not going to iterate through all of it right now. I'll expound on that in a different episode. But like, oh, then at some point I remember very vividly. I don't remember what year it was, but then like they got bought, and then they played Metallica, and that's when you knew it was over. And then after that, you started hearing like Aerosmith and Led Zeppelin and stuff, and I mean, you knew it was over, and our playtime was over, and that was kind of it. Very quickly, you stopped hearing modern rock, and you only heard the other stuff. But I think at that time, like I was like I think maybe I finally had a CD player. I mentioned it. We'll talk about that a lot more.
The Nerd. 95.1, 95.5.
Good evening, and welcome to Night Times with Josh. This is the Wes Montgomery episode. This isn't going to be a deep dive. I'm not an expert. And honestly, I do not know much about the man. I literally opened his Wikipedia page for the first time yesterday just to see when he died. And I saw the year and his age, and it made me sad. I didn't read any more than that because because right now what I'm about to talk about is just completely vibes based. I'm not giving a history. I don't know much of anything about him. I don't know much of anything about jazz, really. I have a few albums, and actually, a friend's dad got me this, and I think it was it was a thing, like it was like maybe for graduation or like an 18th birthday or something like that, and I might have been too young to fully appreciate it, but I always enjoyed it, and like I mentioned last one, I always loved his guitar playing, always loved it. And yeah, these two CDs are, just they would kind of be in like kind of standard rotation over the years. Just like once in a while they make it in and they get through, and it was a good time. And we'll see also how this ties into physical media because, like, like I don't know if I would have come back and revisited this if I didn't have the CD on hand and I didn't see it at some point and like was thinking about it. Like if it was just like in a playlist somewhere, I would never think about it. So that's pretty great. But like again, like I've had him on. It was very thematically appropriate for the episode in question, and so like I said, I was kind of going through this thing, and so like I come down here, I sit down, I put the headphones on. I know I'm now like calling back to like 30 minutes ago or whatever. I put the headphones on, like I listen to it. It's so nice. Like I'm having a good time, and just, like all these thoughts are just they're just kind of coming and going, like with the music. Lots of personal stuff, and but even a lot of just while listening, like again, like with these are nice headphones. They sound really great. I like how they sound. I'm sure there's better headphones. I'm not a headphone guy. But you can hear everything. I mean, it's like you're in the room. And it was just great. Like I think when I looked in the liner notes, we'll find out again in a second. I think it was 1950. And just we had that technology as humans. Like humans were creating these like insane microphones that could, I mean, again, it sounded like you're in the room. Like I almost feel like if you just like contemplated hard enough or something, not hard enough, but like if you were like really contemplative while you're sitting there like listening, just listening and letting it wash over you, like I almost feel like you could probably see the room through the way the sounds are echoing, and it's nuts. Like, it's pretty nuts, honestly, how they used to do things and like how just amazing it sounds. And yeah, for me, just a lot of music, it's too clean. Like every note is perfect, every track is perfect, and like nothing bleeds into anything else. Like nothing is like just charming artifacts in these older recordings. So so there's that. It's just incredible recording. And so as I'm as I'm kind of going through it, like I get to like, like I don't know, like the third song from the end, and I just kind of start crying, like, and I kind of cry for a while, and that felt good. Us guys, we don't get to cry a lot. That's our problem. We'll figure it out. But it was nice. And and I think I felt like a little bit more. I definitely felt like a bit. I felt a lot more clarity about the thing I was going through. Let me put it that way. I felt a lot more clarity about that. That was good. That was really good. So honestly, that was kind of the. I mean, if that was the end of the story, it would be the end of the video, you know. But I'm sure that at this point, you're. I don't know exactly how much further we're gonna go, but there is more happening on the, the play status bar thing. I know it. So so that, and then like when I got to the end, I had to I'm sitting not too far, but I had to lean up, push the stop button real quick so that it didn't start playing the next CD and ruin the mood. You know how that is. The next CD starts playing. It's a 5-disc changer. And so, I don't know. So like, I just like I don't know. I'm just like I'm feeling like very connected, like with this album, like with the playing, just with everything. It feels good. I'm glad I gained clarity on this thing that's kind of going through. It was the right move. I'm really glad I did that. I don't know what to do anymore. It's I got it set to never. Oh, just never suspend. Also, never turn off the screen. Thanks. Okay. And okay, so then I kind of stood up and turned around, faced the cockpit over here, and I picked up the CD because it was still sitting there from the previous recording, which you'll eventually see. And if you want, does this help? Is this good? Is this going to be the thumbnail for the video? We'll see. I'll try a couple different things and see if that makes sense. But so I pulled out the liner notes, and yeah, I'm not going to try to show you anything else. Anything I wanted you to see, I'll put it in post. Because there are some things I want you to see, and I'll maybe I'll put the thing in. So if you want to read it yourself, you can do that. But man, so the first thing that I don't know, then I kind of had like another secondary experience when I opened up the liner notes. I don't know. There's just something about this whole thing that just like I was kind of like shaking and started crying again a little bit. And I don't know why. I don't know what exactly was going on there, but like I don't know. I felt like I was in the Goonies or something. Like I pulled something out of the attic. I'm like, I don't believe it. Like, so again, some of these references will make a little bit more sense when episode 4 comes out, but like just talk about references within references, loops within loops. Like it's all right here. So, man, the first thing that struck me was these grainy ass photos on the inside. They're not high def, that's for sure. But man, especially Tommy Flanagan, apparently the pianist. Man, just pure joy. I don't know any of these other artists. I will be learning about them probably after this video. Like man, Albert Heath on the drums, like he looks like he's into it. Percy Heath on, I'm assuming this is stand-up bass. I don't know a lot about jazz. Like he looks like he's into it. Like Wes Montgomery, he's just looking at the camera like real serious. I like that, but just in general, like, it looks like it would be fun to play jazz. But so I started reading the liner notes, and I don't remember exactly what I wanted to convey. So I'm just going to read it. I'm going to see if it makes sense, and who knows? Maybe I'll cut it all up or I'll throw it away. I just don't know right now. Make no mistakes, Wes Montgomery is the best thing to happen to the guitar since Charlie Christian. Parentheses. That sentence is not ours. We happen to agree with the enthusiasm it expresses, but it would take even more nerve than record companies are supposed to have about applauding their own artists to come right out and make such a statement, which is roughly equivalent to calling an alto player the equivalent of Charlie Parker. No, it's a quote from an objective source, Ralph J. Gleason, one of the most highly respected and most widely read of all writers on jazz. And since it's a sentence that is mighty hard to follow, let's allow Gleason to continue by quoting here from his Downbeat and San Francisco Chronicle reviews of Wes Montgomery's first Riverside album. So the first thing I liked here is at the end, I know that's not what they're doing, but it looks like a smiley face emoticon. So, quote, he has the electric quality, the special gift of making whatever he does come alive that marks the true artist. He has terrific swing, the ability to build solos dramatically and beautifully to climax, and everything he plays has a sense of rightness about it. Like I said, listen to Wes Montgomery. So, end quote. Gleason was far from the only reviewer to do cartwheels over Montgomery's debut album, but we're sure the others will forgive us for not quoting them, on the theory that rare, unqualified superlatives like Ralph's should be allowed to stand alone. Just great writing. Just no one writes like this anymore. So good. At any rate, they make our choice of a word like incredible in the present album not at all daring, but the fact that we're all a bit late in climbing onto the Montgomery bandwagon for this self-taught master of jazz guitar has been playing this way for a decade, not even beginning on guitar until 1942 when, at the age of 19, he first heard Christian on records. 6 months later, he was playing professionally, and by the end of the 40s, presumably because as a self-taught musician he didn't know such things were impossible, he had begun his astounding use of octaves and chords in his solos. So I thought so he's self-taught, and he started, that's 19 is pretty late. That's pretty late for a lot of people. So just incredible. Actually, Wes himself must take a fair share of the blame for the delay in being discovered. Until late 1959, he had done virtually all of his playing except for 2 years, 1948 and 50, with Lionel Hampton in and around his native Indianapolis, which is scarcely the hub of the jazz world. When he was persuaded to sit down with Horace Silver's group at the Village Gate, and the audience almost literally tore the roof off the place. Man. It should be immediately obvious that the three men selected all met the occasion with skill and enjoyment. I like that word. The formidable Percy Heath of modern jazz quartet fame on bass, his brother, drummer Albert Heath, currently featured with J.J. Johnson, and the strong lyrical pianist from Detroit, Tommy Flanagan. Although the technically unbelievable feats West accomplished on guitar may be the first things to catch one's attention, his true and substantial jazz merit lies basically in the fire and deep soul with which he performs them. Orrin Keep News. I don't know if that's a name, but that's fantastic. And the writing is gorgeous. I mean, I love the... sorry. Just the writing is gorgeous. Like, the writing complements the recording so well. Like, the music it flow. I thought we talked about this. I'm gonna have to figure something out. I know I need to use caffeinate. Oh, that's interesting. That was published by Fantasy Incorporated, 10th and Parker Streets in Berkeley, California. So maybe we'll go there one of these days and see what is there today, because I go there sometimes. No, notes reproduced from the original album liner. That's fun. Yeah, and it even looks like, it doesn't look like, I can't tell. I don't know. And it's fun. There's a little thing to fill out. Like, this is how it used to be. Thank you for purchasing this compact disc. We hope that you enjoy it. If you would like to receive information about our releases, please fill out this card and mail it to us. I'll look these guys up at some point, but maybe as a funny thing, I will make a copy of this and send it. I think that would be funny. That would be funny. I mean, just fantastic. I don't know. It's just like I feel, I don't know. I feel connected to this in a way. Like, there's a lot of things in life I feel like I was a late starter at. I'm making videos now at my age for the first time. Most people are doing this way sooner if they're doing it at all. You know, I've technically been playing guitar, I don't know, since I was 13, maybe 12, but like I never got hella serious. I never had any lessons. I don't know any theory. I can read music to save my life, and by that I mean like I know a little bit of it, and I think I could sit there and like A, B, C, D, and I could figure it out. So that's kind of where that is. And but so I feel like a late starter with guitar too, because like I played a lot. There was spells where, you know, hi boys, we played together, and that was a lot of fun. I had a really great time. It was always our little project. I think it was tough to get off the ground. It's hard. I mean, I think if anybody who has any experience, I think playing music with other people, it's really akin to being in a relationship in a lot of ways. Like you have to expose parts of yourself, and it's uncomfortable, and it's weird, and it's hard, and things don't always work, and sometimes it's awkward, and you know, oops, that doesn't usually happen, and then like, you know, but it was a good time. We had a good time. And then I guess these are all things I'll probably talk a lot more about at another time. Boy, I can't believe I've been talking for this long. I don't know how much of this is going to be dead shit that I cut out because I had to do the furnace thing, and there's definitely some rambling, but this might be a way longer episode than I thought it was going to be. But yeah, and then there was a spell like I don't know if I'll name all the towns I ever lived in, but I lived in this one place and played in a couple of kind of like coffee houses or a bar or two. A lot of covers. I felt that was probably like maybe that was the best I ever felt at playing guitar. There was that period, and then at one point I moved to. I will mention this one just because it's a bigger city. I moved to Buffalo. Hi, young Matthew. Hi, Mr. Wolf. And Peach, if you're there. And I kept it was the time I was doing that, so I kept going. It took a little bit, but I found like a coffee shop that was like it was all right, and played quite a bit there. South came down quite a bit. That was a good time. Jay definitely came down for one, and there was even like a couple, 2, 3 people that I collaborated with, and we ended up like playing some songs together. And that was just good. Most of my playing, just chords. But I felt that was like the best I ever felt at guitar. Like my rhythm felt like on point, and just I felt very confident in my playing, and that was just through repetition. Who would have thought? Like sometimes just like playing the same covers like over and over and over again in my apartment until I was almost bored of them. But then and some originals, I had a couple of originals. But then when you get up in front of people, having it just ground into your fingers like that, the whole thing flowed more smoothly, felt confident, could focus more on things like singing, or just like how you wanted to project. And yeah, but so I don't know, just not even close. To be clear, not even close. But like now it's kind of like re-inspired something in me. Like I am starting to kind of like learn some like slightly more complex stuff, and we'll see how that goes in time. Yeah, this is already, it's way longer than I want it to be. I just wanted to talk about the album. I think Wes Montgomery's great. I think I'm probably gonna end up being like a bit sad to go read his Wikipedia page. Yeah, that's it. And I definitely need to do one of these. I just definitely need to do something more low key because like the last couple episodes have been intense. A lot of work going into those. No real bits for this one. Probably just a couple of references. I don't know what this is going to look like. I don't know. Like, no, 50 minutes of me rambling and talking about Wes Montgomery. I don't know if that makes sense. We'll see what happens. But yeah. Good night. I don't know about that. I think I'm good. Ooh, so, oh, you knew I'd be back. It's not a bit. I promise this isn't a bit, but I don't know how other people aren't doing this because you making something, you watch it back, and then you walk around in the real world, and things happen, and you decide that's important too. So this is a guy I've run into like a couple, like I don't know, 2 or 3 times now, and he's fixing this little Miata out on the street. Like he's got his tools and everything like out on the street, like on the sidewalk. Like not fixing per se. Like he's like putting in a new engine or something. Like I don't know exactly what he's doing, but it's fucking sweet. Like he's putting in a new engine. It has a gigantic freaking turbo in it. The car just looks sick as hell. And I stopped the other day to talk with him. He's telling me how he's like, oh yeah, I'm always doing something. He's like, it runs fine. And then, like, I want to change this other thing or fix this other thing. I don't know exactly what all it is. Also, if you do end up watching this, like, I hope I didn't give the impression that I know much about cars. My dad was a mechanic, and so I absorbed some of that, but I can't, I can change brakes. This guy's little project got me thinking. Like, there's just these interesting parallels. Like, he's got this little project. He's swapping out pieces, trying new things. And doesn't that sound familiar? Doesn't that sound familiar? Everything technically works, but why not try something new? Why not try something different in your video? Yeah, I don't know. That's all. I think that there's something like really cool about that aspect about like a project that is just like you're constantly tinkering on it, you're constantly improving it, and maybe it's not always improving in a straight line. Maybe you try something, doesn't quite work, but you're getting there. I don't know. I just really think that's nifty. I think trying new things with a thing you're already working on that already exists is really cool. Good night.